Hello all and welcome, and I am the MGTOW philosopher, and this video is brought to you by a generous donation from Stefan Delval, who made a very generous donation on my latest live stream. And the name of this video is MGTOW Sex Robots. Oh hell no, and no is spelled N-A-W. So of course, the person doing the narration is a black woman, of course. Hell no! Okay. All right, and her name is Truther Talk, and she really doesn't like MGTOW. She says she doesn't have an issue with it, but she really does, and she really, really hates sex robots. Yeah, a woman doesn't like sex dolls. By the way, it's sex dolls, not sex robots. There are no sex robots now, insofar as they can't move around. They are not able to get up, stand up, walk around. There are no sex robots. Really. There are some whose mouths can move around and their head can move a little and they can talk, but that's about it. And by the way, why the hell would I want that? Why would I want a doll, a woman, a robot, something that is essentially just a sex toy for me to talk? I'm getting the sex doll to get away from something that yammers in my ear. Anyway, I wanted to read a comment that she pinned to the top of her comment section. And I wanted to read this before I got into the video because it's very telling and it contradicts some of the things she says in her video. And she actually expresses how she really feels as opposed to this very soft, much softer opinion she gives in her video. This is what she really feels. In case you missed it, whether you are male or female, having robots replace opposite sex, do you have a dildo, honey? Do you have a dildo? Stop using the word robot, call it a doll. Now, all a doll is a sex toy. It's just a big sex toy. That's it. It's a sex toy. Do you have a dildo, honey? Huh? Do you have a vibrator? Well, then you are just as sick as the people that you are naming sickos, because all a sex doll is a big, giant dildo for a man. Of course, I mean, it's not a dildo. It's not a big cock, of course. It's shaped like a woman's body, but that's irrelevant. In fact, I would argue that using a dildo is worse than a man using a sex doll, because you, the woman, have symbolically castrated a man and are deciding to, in a very objective way, use just a piece of his body to give yourself pleasure. It would be much, much more humane of you, yes, humane and human, to use a sex doll, a full representation of the male body, and not just symbolically chopping off his cock to use on yourself. So I guarantee that you have a dildo, you have a vibrator of some kind, so you are no better than the men that you are attacking. So she says, in case you missed it, whether you're male or female, having sex dolls replace opposite sex, demented. She's not at all judgmental, is she? And anyone who thinks it's awesome has a twisted sense of reality. This is just critical theory. I mean, all she's doing is throwing out attacks, character attacks, insults, no arguments of any kind, which is pretty much her whole video. You are throwing away your humanity. How? Explain it. Give me an argument so I can trash your argument. Oh, you have no argument? Of course not. You are brainwashed. No, you are brainwashed, you cultural Marxist, leftist, feminist scum, and buying into transhumanist agenda. I don't have an issue with MGTOW itself. Really? Yet you've labeled your video MGTOW Sex Robots. So you have associated MGTOW with sex dolls, something that you do a lot of work to try and classify as a negative. And by association, MGTOW would be negative as well. But you don't have an issue with MGTOW? I have a strong opinion on the sex dolls. Of course you do. You're a woman. You have a vagina. And without a vagina, no man would ever pay any attention to you or anything you said. I also find it hypocritical. Interesting that you use the word hypocritical talking about sex dolls when I have no doubt you have at least one dildo or vibrator or some kind of sex toy that a bunch of men who are going their own way are swarming this comment section because they want me to accept their pathetic sex robot lifestyle. Oh, yeah, because you're so wonderful. You're you're so great. You're the epitaph. You're the epitome of what a woman should be. Yes, you are just at the peak of womanhood. You are the perfect example of a woman. Yeah, because you're the epitome of the perfect woman, aren't you? And we care so much about what you think that we're just going to come to your channel without even knowing who you are, what you're posting. We've just swarmed to it because we saw your video somewhere and we're like, oh, she's so brilliant and intelligent and makes such cogent points. We really need to get in her comment section and shut her down as quickly as possible because she's just the epitome of the perfect human being. She's so brilliant. Yeah, couldn't be that your little video showed up in the recommended videos, you know, that are always to the right of whatever video you're playing, recommended content, and MGTOW guy saw it and said, it's interesting. She has a negative opinion. Well, this person has a negative opinion on sex robots. Let me go check that out. And then they heard what you had to say and they disagreed, so they posted in your comment section. Oh, I see. You're one of those people who essentially takes the term, the phrasal verb, men going their own way, literally. So a man going his own way, in your mind, means he has zero interactions with women? What are you talking about? Do you know what MGTOW means, man going his own way? It's a phrasal verb. It means the man... Well, here's the definition of MGTOW that you don't seem to know. But you're so learned. Don't marry a woman. Don't live with a woman, don't have kids with a woman, because these three things can allow her to get her hands, claws into your resources. That's it. That's all MGTOW is. It doesn't mean that you have no interactions with women. What, am I going to go to the supermarket and if the cashier is a woman, I'm going to, oh, don't look at me, don't talk to me. And I'm going to have to go shop somewhere else because I can't talk to the female cashier. And what about female coworkers? I'm supposed to ignore them? Could you do that? Oh, no, don't talk to me. Where's my cross? Oh, get away from me. What do you think? That's what MGTOW are like? Do you really think that? You see, you take it 100% too literally. You don't even know what the phrasal verb MGTOW means. You should probably learn a little something about what you're going to make a video about before you make a video about it. They are coming over here. I'm not trying to stop you from doing what you're doing. Yeah, but you would if you could. I'm sure it devalues your poon. I don't even think sex robots, sex dolls, honey, should be banned, if that's what you want to do. Okay, so she said she doesn't think they should be banned. You know what that means? She's a leftist. That means she does think they should be banned. All you have to do to know what a leftist thinks or feels, whatever they say, assume the opposite. I just think that you're losers. Again, more shaming language and more judgment. And no real man or woman who buys into this transhumanist agenda, dildos, vibrators, will ever find real happiness or fulfillment. Well, first of all, who are you to say what brings happiness to who? What brings happiness to you doesn't necessarily bring happiness to someone else. This idea of universality in regards to happiness, meaning that if everybody does the same exact thing that corresponds with my idealized view of what brings happiness, everybody will be happy. Wrong. That's not how happiness works. Different people have different ways of finding happiness, and of course, you as a leftist and a collectivist believe there's some kind of idealized form, system, way to go about being happy that applies to everyone. It can't be individual in nature in regards to, there can't be an individual way for each individual person to find happiness. Happiness can't be something that individuals find, meaning different things make different people happy. Oh no, it's got to be, there has to be a collective idea to happiness. Right. The same thing makes everybody happy, and you'll never find real happiness and fulfillment because you are not following my idea of how someone should find happiness. But you're not judgmental at all. So sad. I hope you guys get psychological help. Geez, maybe I missed it. Maybe I haven't been paying attention, but where exactly was having sex with a doll, using a sex doll, using a sex toy, because that's all it really is. It's just a big sex toy. I guess I missed when that became a mental disorder. I guess I missed where somebody said, or some kind of uber psychologist, psychiatrist who, is the ultimate decider of all things that correspond with mental health, has said that using sex toys is a mental illness. Because, by the way, if it was a mental illness, every woman on earth practically would be a nut job, by the way, which they are. But they would all be classified as mentally ill, which, again, they pretty much are. No, but really go your own way. That means do what you do and don't care what other people think. No, that's not what it means. You've taken a phrasal verb that is essentially nothing more than a modern-day term for an old-school bachelor, and you've tried to apply your own definition to it. But of course you have, because you're a leftist. You're a feminist. You're a cultural Marxist, and to you, everything's open to interpretation. You can take any word you want and just change the meaning to suit your fancy. So in your mind, man going his own way means he's just going to live in a hut somewhere and communicate with no one and essentially never respond to anybody, talk to anybody. Yeah, just go your own way and live in the middle of the woods in a log cabin. Interesting what she thinks MGTOW means. Anyhow, let's get to her video, shall we? And let's hope that it's as entertaining as her pinned comment that shows her true feelings. Okay, so here's her video, and I skipped ahead about 42 seconds because the beginning was pretty much irrelevant. So here we go.
So first things first. I don't care about the number of dislikes we're getting.
I love it. By the way, her channel has 736 subscribers, so yeah, she doesn't care about the number of dislikes she's getting. By the way, at this point, it's 65 thumbs down and 8 thumbs up.
If I get 4 dislikes, 4 likes, and 1,000 dislikes, I'm not going to cry.
Right, because you're a woman and you care more about attention than anything else. The fact that there might be 1,000 dislikes and 4 likes doesn't matter to you. Just like when chicks show up on my live stream and to comment on my videos, they're just there looking for attention. You are nothing more than the typical broad. Continue.
It's YouTube at the end of the day.
Yeah, you say stupid shit. And you get a lot of dislikes. Oh, it's not because I'm saying stupid shit. It's because it's YouTube.
Bring them on. Bring your dislikes to our page because we know who's.
What do you mean our? Who the hell are you talking about? Our? She's sitting here in what looks like a dorm room or something. It's a crappy little apartment. I mean, God, who is we? Who is we? Us? Why do you keep referring to yourself in the plural sense? We, us. You're one broad who set up a camera and you're making a video, okay? Give it a rest. There's a lot of us. Oh, we're some kind of movement. Who are you? Truth or Talk. That's the name of her channel, by the way, Truth or Talk.
It's disliking the videos. It's men that don't want to hear the truth about the poor decisions that they've made.
Okay, here we go. So here we go with the critical theory and the shaming language. So essentially, she's attacking all men's character, at least men who term themselves, quote unquote, MGTOW, who identify as men going their own way, who believe in things like sex dolls and getting away from women in an intimate sense and not living with them, marrying them, or having kids with them. And she's trying to shame them. She's not offering arguments, by the way, and you listen to her video, she will offer 0 arguments, just lots and lots of critical theory. At its basest form, just criticism.
With women. Look,
what poor choices? Could you name poor choices? Could you give me one poor choice? Could you give an example? Of course you will not. You will not get specific in any way. You will be vague in general. Oh, they're bad choices. What bad choices? Give me something specific. Give an argument. Oh, that's right, you won't give an argument. Because if you give an argument, I can give a counter argument.
I'm making this comment because based on my observation and my life experience.
Her life experience is very small. When you see her picture, she's very, very young, and she just found out what MGTOW is. So I don't know how much experience you think you have, honey, but it ain't much.
I've had many a guy friends.
Many a guy friend? That's... By the way, honey, those guys are only your friends because they want to bang you. They have no interest whatsoever in anything you have to say. Any man who's a friend with a broad, oh my God, if she's halfway attractive, or even if she's not attractive, he's only friends with her because he wants to bang you. That's all.
That have chosen women. I've seen them pick women who were nice, they were both pretty, but I've seen them pick.
Both pretty? Who's she talking about? I thought she said friends. So she said she had a lot of male friends, and then she says both. Which means she's referring to one guy who went out with 2 broads. Yeah, you don't have too much experience, honey. You're talking about one guy who picked 2 broads to earn your friendship with him. Yeah, your experience. It's monumentally huge.
Women who were nice. Push women who were nice aside and pick the evil, demonic women.
Well, you know, the nice broads were probably fat and ugly, and we really don't care about how nice they are if they're pigs.
All their friends around them, both male and female, were telling them, look, dude, this girl's crazy. She's going to do this. She's going to do that.
Yeah, but she was hot. We don't care. She's got a nice ass. A nice pair of tits. Well, I care if she's nice.
I see it coming, and at the end of the day, it was their own stubbornness that kept them being with that woman, because maybe they wanted to prove everybody wrong.
Or maybe they wanted to bang a hottie, you dope.
Or maybe, you know, for whatever reason, they chose that woman.
Whatever reason. You can tell she's a feminist because she's ignoring all reality, all objective reality, and everything that comes naturally to a man, everything that has to do with natural selection and biology. Oh, no, I'm going to pretend I don't know why my friend got with that hot chick. He got with her because she was thin, wasn't fat, fertile, hot, great body, everything that nature had programmed him to want in a woman. Oh, I'm a feminist, of course, so I have to ignore all that stuff and pretend everything's a social construct.
Okay, so, and then they come out that relationship and they want to deem all women as crazy, but no, they end up picking the crazy women.
Well, they all are crazy. What are you talking about? They come out picking the crazy woman. First of all, you're making broad, sweeping generalizations yourself, okay? I mean, honestly, for somebody who says that men are making broad, sweeping generalizations, you're making your own broad, sweeping generalizations. And by the way, whatever you might title as crazy or bitchy or whatever, most women have some of that to a certain degree, all right? You need to be more specific in your terminology. What do you mean crazy? Batshit crazy? Just a little crazy? What is your idea of crazy? Give some specifics in something, anything. Give some kind of specifics.
Because there are plenty of sane women out there.
Plenty of sane women where? I'm not meeting them. Sane? Your definition of sane is obviously different than mine.
Just as there are plenty of sane men out there. And
she's an egalitarian. You notice how egalitarians, you can spot them a mile away because they always compare men and women in the worst possible ways. Whenever it comes to anything positive, they only talk about women. But whenever it comes to anything negative, yeah, men are horrible. Yeah, women are horrible, but men are horrible too. And men are horrible, but so are women. But they never use any equalizing language when they're talking about the positive. It's always just women. They're easy to spot, these egalitarian scumbags.
But say the same thing about the women who dog men and talk crap about them, okay? I don't think all men are crazy or violent or whatever.
Good for you. What do I care? Because that's true. Not all men are. We have logic and reason and critical thinking, okay? We don't let our emotions rule us. Women, on the other hand, do. Oh, but of course you believe that men and women are all the same, okay? I see. More of your equalizing language. Yes, continue.
But there are women that
Come on, honey. Keep trying. Get it out. Come on, you can get it out.
Attracting the same type of men. So I think when you keep having the same...
Yeah, amazing. You keep attracting these kind of horrible men, of course, is what she said for. Yeah, you keep attracting these bad boys, these horrible men. Yeah, that's what I've always told you guys. Don't be nice to women. Be a scumbag and you'll get more poon.
Over and over again, you need to do some introspection and figure out why that is.
Yeah, right. You ladies need to do some introspection. Don't ask us men. Us men introspect all the freaking time. It's you ladies that have a problem with that.
Because, you're going to keep doing it. And you're going to be miserable.
Okay, so my happiness is completely tied up in whether or not I have a mate and what kind of mate it is. I couldn't just pump and dump broads and be happy with myself and my life and the things I do and the things I enjoy doing and finding the things I love. So I couldn't be happy there and just pump and dump broads. Or, in the case of this video, as you're talking about, calling it demented, pump and dump a doll. Yeah, they're much the same. Most women just lie there like a refrigerator anyway and don't do a goddamn thing. So I don't see the difference.
So, I mean, if you think it's shaming, I'm not going to even be sorry.
Reference her pinned comment. If you think it's shaming, I'm not going to be sorry. Implying that it's not shaming, it's just in our head, of course. That's obviously what she's trying to do.
You can think what you want to think. This is what I think. Please don't, say all these horrible things about women.
Like all the horrible, nasty things you said in that pinned comment that I reviewed right before I started doing this review of this video.
And think that we're not going to have an opinion back.
Oh! This is why I wanted to read that comment. So, she gives this opinion about men, MGTOW men in general. And that we're here. Yes, yeah, you come to my channel. How dare you? How dare you come to my channel and reply to me? Who you think you are? Don't come to my channel. You men who say you're going your own way, and I'm really just taking and interpreting that phrasal verb to mean what I want it to mean so I can justify my tirade about you coming to my channel and having the audacity to comment in my comment section. I really don't want you here, and I'm going to try to use the phrasal verb MGTOW to try and shame you into going away from my channel and justifying my objection to you being here. And now here I am saying that I'm entitled to have my opinion and basically say what I want and to hell with what you think, but you can't do the same to me. And if you do the same to me, I'm going to shame you, and I'm going to justify shaming you and attacking you for coming to my channel by saying you're not following the dictums of your own ideology, even though it's not an ideology, but I'm too stupid to know that it's not an ideology because I didn't do my research. I see. So essentially, you can talk smack about men and say whatever you want, and we're not allowed to come to your channel and challenge you. Very interesting. Very interesting how she says that, oh, you think you can talk smack about women and we're not going to say anything back? While you're here talking smack about men and we say something back and you complain. Clearly, the double standards that exist within the solipsistic minds of women, and especially feminists like this broad, oh my God, are still quite strong. Okay, continue, please.
Like, I don't know, maybe that's why you need a robot, because you don't want somebody to talk back to you.
Well, you you got it, honey, because I'm not with some broad to listen to her yammer. I've listened to you yammer now for quite some time, and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Why would I want to listen to somebody who doesn't do their research, isn't intelligent enough to form a cogent argument, can't even form an argument at all, just throws out ad hominems and straw men and friggin' critical theory attacks left and right, and I really want to listen to you talk? Really? You talk gibberish, nonsense, crap. Why would I want to hear you talk? Just get down on all fours, shut your mouth, and be the object that you are. No? Well, then I'll go get a robot. You're goddamn right.
You know, and this is the whole thing, too, about the robots. I think that there are a lot of men that are shallow and that are...
Men are shallow? No, we care about how a woman looks? Can't be. Oh my God, she's so naive. She says she's in her early 20s, obviously, just by looking at her. So you're in your early 20s, and you don't know that men are shallow? You don't know that women are shallow either? They only care about surface things. You do understand that shallow really means that we just care about what's on the surface, right? So we don't care about what's beneath the surface, huh? So women see a man in a flashy car and a nice suit with an expensive watch on his arm, and they salivate. That's shallow, you idiot. Don't you understand that? Women and men are equally shallow. Don't you get it? We don't look beneath the surface. Oh, we don't even care what's beneath the surface until we bang that chick, okay? As for whether or not women ever look beneath the surface, I doubt it. At least us men, we will delve somewhat beneath the surface if we like the sex, okay? We want to sample before we buy. And if we're smart, we won't buy at all. We'll just rent. That's right. We'll lease, we won't buy, okay? But at least men, we bang a chick, and then we might have some interest in what's below the surface, what's beneath that veneer. You ladies, oh, you just care if a man has money. That's it. And of course, the right political opinions if you're a leftist pinhead. Continue, please.
Outwardly, they're afraid of women that aren't.
No, we're not afraid of women. What are you talking about? What are you, like 100 pounds? 110 pounds? Honey, I could pick you up and body slam you with one arm, snap your spine. We're afraid of you? Really? Use your brain if that's possible.
Strong, and they...
Strong? You're not strong. What are you talking? Strong in what way? What way are you strong, huh? You're not physically strong, okay? Of course, you're an egalitarian. Oh, we're equal but different but equal. Yeah, okay. Yeah. You're strong, right? Why don't you try picking me up and body slamming me, honey? See how that works out for you.
Rather have, they'd rather stick their hoo-ha in someone.
Hoo-ha? Okay. All right, first of all, if you're going to make a video about sex dolls and sex, you should probably be able to use the actual terms for the anatomy you're talking about. Cock and pussy.
Than to have them, just something that can stick something in and not, have them talk back or nag them or call them on their BS.
Okay, so now you're talking as if nagging's a good thing that we should put up with. We don't have to put up with your nagging. She even admits that women are going to nag you, and that's a negative. Do you understand that the word nag is a pejorative? Do you understand that nagging is bad? And you just admitted that we would have to put up with your nagging if we banged you. So, yeah, you just answered your own question exactly. Why would we want to put up with that? We wouldn't.
And sorry, that's what I think. Now,
you haven't said anything. You haven't said, you think anything. You haven't said anything of any real substance, okay? You've offered no arguments of any kind. It's just what I think. I think. They don't want to put up with nagging. You don't seem to understand. You're arguing for the other side, you pinhead. You are arguing for your adversaries. They don't want to put up with nagging. That's why they have sex dolls. Yeah. You say that like it's a bad thing. No. I love it.
You're strong in your conviction. Then why do you care what I think, right?
What's your point? I'm strong in my conviction, so I don't care. I really don't care what you think. I really don't. I honestly don't. I'm making this video first because it was a request by one of my loyal subscribers who made a donation and asked me to do an original content video. And number two, because I want men to see what the majority of women are like. And the more women they see like you, the more red pilled they will become and the more men I will red pill.
Why do you need me to understand?
Nobody needs you to understand. You're just so narcissistic that you think people are coming to your comment section because they give a goddamn about what you think. They don't. They disagree with you, which you don't like. So you're resorting to shaming language, of course, because you don't want anybody to challenge your opinions. How interesting. So you want to exclude men from coming to your comment section and you attack and shame them to keep them away. Yes, very interesting. So you fault men for wanting to have sex dolls because they don't want to deal with your crap, right? And yet you are attacking men for coming to your comment section because you don't want to deal with their crap. So let me get this straight, Miss Strong Lady. This is so hilarious. You fault men and try to shame and attack them and call them demented. Okay, and twisted because they want to have what essentially is what you have, a sex toy, because they want to avoid your yapping mouth. And you are here attacking, actually going out of your way to try and stop men from coming into your comment section and disagreeing with, challenging you. So the very things that you fault men for wanting to avoid are the same things you yourself are trying to avoid, and you call us weak for wanting to avoid your nonsense, but you're somehow strong, even though you're trying to avoid us challenging you? Are you kidding me? You want to talk about hypocrisy, honey? That's the highest level of hypocrisy. You want to talk about self-awareness and lacking in self-awareness? Why don't you go look in a mirror and try becoming a little more introspective and self-aware yourself, honey, because you are sorely lacking. Indeed, your words are ridiculous, honey. Thank you for finally having enough self-awareness to recognize that. Continue.
So, I learned something. I don't think it's going to further the rift between men and women, but I think that...
Oh, I hope it does. We want that rift to grow bigger and bigger, and we want it to spread to more and more men, until women don't have men to fall back on and to steal resources from.
There already is a rift, and I think it's going to just...
And it was created by who? Why? How? It was created by feminists like you.
Give contentment to men and women.
Right, it'll give contentment. So she admits it'll give contentment to men and women. Getting these sex robots, these sex dolls, will bring contentment to men and women. And then if they're content, then they won't get together anymore. And that'll be such a horrible thing, right? If men and women don't get together. Yeah, they'll be content without having to be with each other. Who could fear that men would be content without women? Could it be women? Trust me, honey, women are not going to be content without men. They need men like a crack whore needs crack cocaine, like she needs that crack pipe.
Who can't find validation or love in the opposite sex.
Okay, little lesson for you. You do not find validation in others. Other people do not validate you. The only validation you're going to find in this world that's worth a damn is the validation you find from yourself. As for the love of others, there is no such thing as romantic love. I made a video about this, talking about how romantic love is a farce. You can find it in my original content playlist. It's nonsense. All love is lust. Doesn't last that long either. Sorry to burst your bubble, honey.
So I think that... I think that men, I don't think they're creepy.
Really? Oh, but in your pinned comment that I read at the beginning of this video, you used the words twisted and demented. I don't know. That's pretty close to creepy. Let me say, so we need psychological help. We're twisted. We're demented. Oh, but we're not creepy. Oh, I see. Okay.
I don't. I just think, it actually makes me really sad.
Yes, here comes the moral superiority. Yes, it just makes me sad. You gotta love how people are on the left essentially love to essentially lord their moral superiority over you. I just feel so bad for you. It just makes me feel so sad. Yeah, that's really the only reason most of these people are leftists, because they want to try to be morally superior to everybody else. Continue, honey.
That these men are and women.
Oh, and we just throws that in there, yeah, of course, to try and be egalitarian about it. Equal? Really? Honey, you're talking about men here, okay? Talking about men. You do not acknowledge the fact that dildos and vibrators are essentially the same thing as a sex doll. Because if you did, then you'd have to realize you're talking about yourself. I know that level of self-awareness is way over your head.
Or choosing to give away their humanity.
I'm giving away my humanity by essentially having copulation with a piece of silicone. That's giving away my humanity. Oh, well, of course, you have to call my humanity into question if you want to socially engineer me into doing what you think is the right thing for me to do. It's amazing how you know what's better for me than I do.
Because they don't have the courage. Because they
Oh, yes, click on that buzzword that you believe that you know really, really affects them into their core, really strikes a chord with their ego. Yes, you don't have any courage. You're a man without courage.
At the opposite sex, suck the courage and suck their soul out of them to the point.
Okay, so what she's saying here is that essentially men who are MGTOW have chosen to go away from women, not for practical reasons such as not wanting to get divorce raped, not wanting to have kids with a woman and then have her steal those kids, and then steal all your money, and then get vagina money from you forever. Oh, no, those are not our reasons. They're going to be practical. They have to be emotionally based. Because, of course, I'm a solipsistic creature that exists in a world of subjectivity and my own feeling. So, of course, all the reasons that I would want to go away from a man, well, those must be the same reasons that a man would want to go away from a woman. Because men and women are equal, of course. And those differences that people talk about between men and women, well, no, those are just social constructs, right?
Where they can't grow up and,
Oh, we can't grow up. Oh, so we get hurt when we're really, really young. And that stunts our maturity because somehow we need the opposite sex to mature and grow. Interesting. Could you give us an argument telling us why that's the case? Or are you just going to say it and not present any argument about why that's the case?
Introspect and find healing. So they...
Oh, I see. So no argument. Oh, of course not. Continue and introspect. Who you tell to introspect, honey? You have done little to no introspection at all during this What am I saying? Video. Little to no introspection. None. Zero. Zippo introspection on your part. Practice what you preach, baby.
Want to, find it in an inanimate object.
Find what in an inanimate object? What are you talking about? For a man, it's just about getting your rocks off, getting your pipes clean. That's all it is. Few minutes. Whew. The fumes are cleared, the smoke is cleared, our mind is clear, and we go back to doing whatever we were doing, okay? Oh, I see. Being a woman, you're so emotional. For you, it's all about emotion. Much of it is about emotions. Of course, you think that's the same way it is for man. It's such a deep emotional experience. No. It's just for a man getting his rocks off. That's it. Oh, you can't accept that. You don't want to accept that? Well, I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry you can't accept reality. Continue with your nonsense, please.
It's ridiculous.
Yes, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I agree. Your words are definitely ridiculous. Why don't you go get your dildo and tell us how it's different from a sex doll? Why don't you do that, huh?
So I know one of the videos he was saying 80% of women go for the top 20% of men.
That's true. But that's been proven. There's been scientific studies done where women go for the top 20% of men presented to them. They focus on, latch onto those qualities that are only represented in the top 20%.
Well, duh. It goes...
Duh! Why are you... Oh, God.
The other way around, too. So when you get sex robots that are obese and with no hair and, like, flat-chested, then maybe I'll believe you, but...
What are you talking about? Are you stupid? Oh, God. What nonsense. Oh, Wait. When did MGTOW, when did any men ever say that they don't want the top 20% of hottest looking chicks? When did we ever say that? We never said that. What is she talking about? What are you talking about? So this is a straw man argument. She's trying to present a different reality than what is actually the case. She's trying to represent men as somehow in large numbers or in general saying that they don't care about looks. They only care about the inner self and what's within a woman. They don't care about how she looks. And now she is essentially arguing against that made-up straw man that she has created to try and essentially prove a non-point, or a point she thinks is a point anyway. Honey, men don't say stuff like that. You were saying men say stuff like that, but we do not. Oh, I see. There's a little bit of equivocation going here. She's trying to use her typical equalizing language. Well, women deny caring only about the top 20% of men. Well, duh. And she admits that, of course. But then she tries to use this straw man argument that men also deny that they care about the top 20% of women as far as looks go. No, we don't do that. You women are the ones who are dishonest about your objectification of men. We men don't ever lie about our objectification of women. We're totally honest that we objectify women. It's only you ladies that are dishonest. You can act morally superior. Anyhow, continue.
You know, please don't act like you're above being shallow about aesthetics.
Oh my God. I love it. So you're trying to say that women are only wanting the top 27% of guys for looks. More of this egalitarian bullshit. Honey, women go after the top 20% of men insofar as how much they make, not their looks. Okay? Yet another straw man argument. You gotta love it. And I love how she's trying to talk about people being above. This whole entire video up until this point, you have done nothing but act morally superior and been condescending, not to mention in your little pinned comment that I read at the beginning of this video, you are one of the most conceited, arrogant, condescending people I have yet to see talk about this subject. So don't try to tell men not to be somehow superior. We're not. You're creating a straw man argument, okay, to try and prove an argument, okay? You lose, honey. Fail, epic fail. But go ahead, continue. I want to tear you to shreds some more.
Because it goes both ways. So to me, it just seems really vapid and not...
She can't even speak English. Hey, honey, it's pronounced vapid. Vapid, not vapid.
Existence. And it makes me actually really sad. Because
again, with the moral superiority, looking down on people. You know what makes me sad? It makes me sad that you're too... vapid and dim to realize that you're talking about yourself. Anyway, do continue.
I care about humans and I care about humanity. I don't care what you think, but I'm gonna say, for those of you who are considering doing this, you know, get mad at me if you want. Maybe later you'll think about it and you'll be like, okay, you know, but I think I think you're gonna get to the point where you're gonna get depressed. You're gonna have this, and then something is gonna be missing, you know, and you're gonna...
Yeah, what's gonna be missing? Some broad yammering in my ear and essentially nagging me, as you said it yourself. These were your own words. Nagging. Nagging. Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah, that's what's gonna be missing? Great.
You're gonna get depressed.
Why am I gonna get depressed? Again, no arguments. Where? This is just leftist parrot talk. She's just parroting what other people have said to her. She's parroting what her gender studies teacher said. She's parroting something she heard, and it sounded good, and it felt like it was true, so she now parrots it. You have no arguments! Where are your arguments? If it were me, I would say you'll get depressed because, and I would give a very long, lengthy explanation of why I believe this is the case. I would use logic, and I would use reason, and I would use linked causality with a progression of one event leading to another, to another, to another. But of course, you just say, you get depressed. That's it? That's all you got?
Something, and I'm curious to see if the suicide rate is going to go up in these people that...
Oh, these people. You mean the men who already are 70% of the people kill themselves? 87% of suicides are men. 87%! Are you aware of the suicide numbers, honey? You really think they can get higher than that? Do you really? Do you want to see how high they can get? Well, you try to implement and push your ideological views on men. Yeah, you watch the suicide rate goes up, honey. If not only can they not get away from women, by your own words, oh, they must be shamed. Yeah, she divorced you. She took your kids. You're paying alimony forever, and you're paying 3/4 of your paycheck to her every week, and you're living in some dump because you can't afford anything better, and you're walking to work because you have no car because you can't afford a car. But you should still find yourself another wife who will ass rape you, and you're in no way allowed to find any other outlet. Okay, yeah, sure, yeah. You watch the suicide rate skyrocket then, honey.
Choose to be intimate with a robot. Because at the end of the day, we're still human beings. You can deflect.
What does that mean? And that's like when these leftists say the reason for something is it's 2018. Yes, we should be tolerant of people chopping off their dicks and pretending to be women because it's 2018. We shouldn't have sex robots. We should continue to get with the opposite sex. We men should continue to get with women, even with all the risks, because it's 2018, because we're humans. What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything.
From our humanity and distract us from our humanity, but at the end of the day,
how is being with a robot a doll? It's not a doll. It's not a sex robot, by the way. It's a doll. Stop saying robot, okay? It's a doll. They don't want to associate it with something that is essentially harmless. They want to associate it with something like a robot. Robots can come to life. Robots can move. Robots can be animatronic. They can move around. It's a scary image that invokes in people's heads when leftists like this use the word robot, which is inaccurate. They're dolls. They're sex dolls. They don't have any autonomy, and they can't even move. Again, wrong word. Another leftist word chosen to evoke negative thoughts and emotions in association with sex dolls. They're not robots, they're dolls.
That's what we are. That's why I believe.
No, we're humans? Really? That's what we are? Oh, I didn't know that.
We're here on Earth.
This whole video, what the hell is this broad talking about? What the hell does we're human and we're on Earth have to do with having sex dolls? Please explain the correlation to me.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, but where's the correlation? Give me a correlation of some kind.
Connect and learn from each other.
Well, you're just stating obvious facts and then trying to associate all these feel-good, nonsensical phrases and this word salad bullshit you're spewing out with sex robots being bad. I don't know what the hell you're saying at this point. What are you talking about?
So I don't really see any really profound growth happening when you're with a robot.
Well, so I'm with somebody else to get profound growth. Again, I need other people to grow as a person. Then wouldn't they come attached to me? I mean, wouldn't we all be wouldn't we all be like born with a woman attached to us and they're like part of our body? I mean, if I'm not able to grow as a human without a woman, why wasn't I born with one attached to me? Why was I born an individual? Huh? I can't find everything I need by myself. I need somebody else to complete me. What is there, some yawning, gaping chasm inside myself? And I need a woman. I need another person like a puzzle piece to complete me. You sound like you've read too many romance novels, honey, and seen too many crappy romantic comedies.
It's not going to challenge you.
Challenge? Wait. Okay, let me tell you something. I am not here in this world to be challenged by a woman. Tell me, why would I want to be challenged? What are you talking about? I go into combat to be challenged. I go into a fight to be challenged. Why would I want a woman to challenge me to combat, to challenge me to some kind of verbal combat, to challenge me to fighting? I go home. I want to get away from that stuff. I don't want to go home to be challenged. I want to go home to have peace and quiet and tranquility. Who the hell wants to go home and be challenged by some broad, by some uppity broad? Who wants that?
You know, you don't want anybody that's going to challenge you? Yeah.
Do you stop and think about what you're saying? Challenge, yeah, you don't want to be challenged. You're right. That's right. I don't want to be. And do you know what challenge means? It's not a positive thing, sweetheart. It depends on the context. I mean, maybe if I do go into combat or something like that, it could be positive. It paid me money or some shit like that. Or I went in it willingly to test myself. But God damn it, I don't want to day in, day out have to deal with this shit at home. Go to my job. I have challenges all day. I'm getting paid. I'm coming home. I'm paying for you. And you have a place to live and you to fulfill your dream as being a mother or whatever. And I need to listen to you and be challenged by you. Why? So you admitted that you want to challenge men. That you see it as a great thing to challenge. Men are there essentially for you to knock around, kick around, punch around, challenge. Yeah, fuck with them. Yeah, I'm going to challenge you. Yeah. Boy, yeah, that's real attractive. Yeah, geez, that's exactly what I need at the end of a long day.
You don't want anybody that's going to challenge you, so you don't grow up and you stay in a state of arrested development.
What are you talking about? This is just leftist bullshit. You're just theorizing, hypothesizing here. You grew up in a state of arrested development. So I'm growing up, but I'm not developing. Or maybe she's talking about emotionally. Why would I be in a state of arrested development? Are you telling me the only way that I can develop emotionally is to be banging a real chick and have relationships with real chicks? So everything in my life, from my work to my hobbies to the things I love, to the things I enjoy doing and the ways I express myself in my art and everything I do and study and the way I interact with the world, all that is intrinsically tied to another person with a vagina. And if I don't have that, I have nothing else. Interesting how she ties every single goddamn aspect of life into the vagina that she happens to have between her legs. Very interesting, honey. Could it be that you don't want to lose your power to control a man, so you are trying your damnedest to associate every goddamn thing a human being does with sexual relations and intimacy with another human being?
This is why people think that these people that want these sex robots are childish and immature. And
why do they think that? You didn't give us all you did was made a statement. You didn't give a why. You didn't give a why. You just said, using the sex robots will lead to arrested development. You didn't actually give a reason. Now you've tricked everybody by waiting a minute, and now you're using the word why to try and make the people listening think that you actually presented an argument, which would be the why, but you didn't. And then you're producing the same argument again, just with different words. Typical leftist ploy.
I think they are. I think they've been...
You think they are because... Well, I explained it, even though I didn't really explain it. I just used different words to say that I think that's the case, but I didn't explain why.
Traumatized to the point where they're...
Traumatized? What are you talking about? Where did this trauma come from? Now we're getting... Wait, traumatized? So this is the first mention of trauma. Okay, what trauma are you talking about?
Development has been arrested.
Okay, so she's just throwing shit out there, using a lot of pejoratives and, traumatized, okay, buzzwords, talking points, word salad bullshit, rhetorical nonsense. I'm just going to throw it all out there. All the pejorative buzzwords, traumatized, arrested development. Okay, I think I got them all out there.
Okay, that's what I think.
Yeah, you haven't said anything, really, honey.
So, And also, the thing that kind of cracks me up is...
Yeah, she says this. She's looking down at some script, and you can hear the paper crackling. Oh, God.
I've seen some videos of men are talking about how women take their money and are all obsessed about money and...
Right. Didn't you just say earlier that was the case? Oh, no, you tried to equivocate, and you tried to equate men and women care about the same things. Now, women aren't so shallow as to care about the top 20% earners. They just care about the top 20% of good-looking guys, just like men. I see. So you're trying to associate men and women in every way to be equal. Oh, women don't care about money, that they do care about appearances, just like men. No. So you're trying to essentially make women look less horrible, less evil, as if there's something better or less base, less greedy, less gold-digging, less conniving in caring about looks. Yeah. So essentially, it's okay for women. I'm going to compare them to men, and oh yeah, women care as much about the top 20% of men appearance-wise as men care about the top 20% of women appearance-wise. But oh no, I'm going to deny the fact that women care about the top 20% of men in terms of money. Oh, that's somehow worse. Okay.
And they're in debt because of women. So you're going to buy a robot that costs thousands of dollars, maybe tens of thousands of dollars?
I see where she's going with this. She's essentially trying to make the argument that sex robots, sex dolls are so expensive. Why are you running away from women who are going to put you in debt? I mean, this robot's really going to put you in debt, right? I mean, yeah, they cost all of $1,000. Some of them cost only $600, $700. And this woman with her $250,000 in student loans, oh, that's less than $600. Oh, wait a second. I forgot how to do math. $600, a one-time payment of $1,000. $600, $1,000, one-time payment as opposed to $250,000 in student loan debt, as well as the solipsism of a woman and the total lack of ability to manage her finances. And she'll put us even further into debt after I marry her. And you know how women are, and they buy all this crap, and they don't think about money, and they don't think about the future because they lack abstract thinking. Oh, but that sex doll, yeah, it's so much more expensive than a lifetime of being with this broad, who then, when she divorces me, is going to get most of my money and alimony, and if we have kids, she'll get child support as well. Oh, but don't buy that sex doll. It costs $1,000.
And you're going to go into debt for a fake woman or man that's not even real?
Notice how she adds in man at the end, like she's trying to be equal in her arguments, yet all she's doing is talking to men. Everything she says is man. And then when she starts talking about the robot, and you're going to go into debt with a male or right, or female sex. So I have to sound like I'm unbiased, and so I have to sound like I'm addressing both sexes, even though I'm really only talking to men. Interesting that she thinks a one-time payment for a silicone doll would be more money than the debt that a woman comes into a marriage with, or the amount of money that she could steal from a man after she divorce rapes him.
For a fake woman that's not real, okay?
Okay, so I don't know what you're talking about, but clearly not only does she not know anything about MGTOW, she doesn't know anything about sex dolls either, and obviously what she's talking about is the most extreme case is some of these new dolls that cost, these new robot dolls that cost $10,000, $15,000. What she's really talking about is some of these more fancy dolls whose heads can move a little and they talk. And you can have conversations with them, and they have like some kind of very rudimentary AI. That's it. And they cost 10, 15 grand or something. No, we don't want that. We do not want that. And by the way, even that would be cheaper than a wife.
Like, right? You don't want to see yourself live on. You don't want to have children.
No.
You know?
I'll be dead.
I mean, that's sad to me.
What do you mean, see myself live on? You're talking like there's something after, honey. There's nothing. Believe me. When you die, that's it. You're worm food. Processor turned off. Power off. Nothing's going on. You are in the ground. Or in my case, when I die, I will be cremated and thrown into the ocean. Or on the ground. Or flushed down the toilet. It doesn't matter. I guarantee you, though, I'm not going to be seeing anything.
It really is. And the men that I'm making a lot of these videos, I haven't seen one.
Men? Why didn't you say women? Why didn't you say women? I thought you did that. I thought you were trying to be unbiased. But everything you say is men. But then when you start talking about buying the robot or specifically referencing the robots, for some reason you throw women in there as well to try and sound like you're being less biased. Why don't you just be honest and stop using the word women at all? Anyhow, continue, honey.
I haven't seen one. I'm sure there's some, but I haven't seen one where anybody's showing their face.
Okay, so she's talking about men making MGTOW videos. She doesn't see any of them showing their face. She hasn't seen one showing their face. Yeah, and do you know why that is, sweetheart? Do you know why you haven't seen any men showing their faces? Because we are anti-left. We're not just anti-feminist. And we're not anti-women, by the way. We don't hate women. Of course, if you educated yourself a little bit about MGTOW, you would know that our enemy is feminism and the global elites and the left, okay, who use women as their proxy dogs to essentially deconstruct Western culture. But you don't know that because you've done no research, okay? You just look at the surface. You're very shallow. Yeah, you like to call other people shallow, but you, by the way, only look at the surface of things. You don't look any deeper. No, we don't show our faces. Not because we're somehow afraid of you or anything. We're afraid of being doxxed and somehow attacked, harmed, in some way having harm done to our life. Let me tell you something. Leftists are the craziest mofos out there, okay? I mean, Jesus Christ, if people can find that flag, that crazy douchebag, Shia LaBeouf, put out in the middle of the wilderness that said, "He will not divide us," and then these few geeky kids, just from, the constellations in the sky and little detective work, found this thing out in the middle of nowhere, and they went and they replaced the flag that said, "He will not divide us," with Make America Great Again flag of their own. I mean, if some kids can do that, imagine how easy it would be to find someone like myself if I simply put my face up on the screen. Imagine how easy it would be. And you know how many crazy people there are out there in the world? There are a lot of freaking crazy people. And my views, my political views, the things that I espouse, The things I say are the most objectionable humanly possible to somebody like you. Somebody like you would label everything I say hate speech, it's microaggression, so I have the right to use real aggression against him. I'm not so arrogant or full of hubris that I don't recognize the fact that it would be quite possible for some whack job to be able to find me. I don't say to myself, oh, well, look where I live. Nobody's going to find me where I'm at. And so, no. I am a practical realist, and I understand how reality works, and I know that the things I'm saying are so objectionable to people like you, and people even more extreme than you, that it would be a threat to me to post my face. So, duh, as you said before, duh, yes, you're so profound, duh, yes, I recognize reality, unlike you. And so I take steps to protect myself. Duh!
Right? They're commenting and they're making videos. So if you're so strong in your convictions about what you're doing is right, then why don't you show your face?
I love it. I love it. So you're courageous, but I'm a coward. Okay. When was the last time a conservative whacked somebody over the head with a bike lock, huh? When was the last time this happened? Who are the people running around the streets wearing black masks with skulls on the front and the same black hoodies and the same black outfits so that if they attack somebody and beat them up, they can just disappear into the crowd of their brethren and they can't be caught or identified? Who are those people? It's not people like me. It's people like you on your side of the aisle. Yeah, you're real courageous. Imagine this. So she's talking about courageous. Imagine she walks into a room full of diehard pacifists and starts to espouse her views. And they all listen, and they're angered, and they don't like what you're saying, but you know with 100% certainty that none of them will harm you. What courage did that take exactly? What courage? I mean, the prevailing political and social views are on your side, and the only people that will enact violence against others are on your side of the aisle against people like me espousing my views. Your views will not trigger people to violence because the people you're addressing either believe what you say, or the people like me who know you're full of shit and don't know what the hell you're talking about and you're just a dogmatic parrot and will accept them because I'm actually tolerant as opposed to somebody who just says they're tolerant, but they're only tolerant of people's different skin colors and not their different ideas. So yeah, you're real courageous, honey. You're espousing ideas that are popular and 100% accepted by the government, the media, the mainstream, by all the people who would do violence, and none of the people that would do violence, none of the people out there who disagree with you would ever do violence against you. Yeah, you're real courageous. Meanwhile, I'm having to hide my identity and be anonymous because crazies on your side of the aisle would love to lop my freaking head off if they could identify who I was. Yeah, who's the courageous one? Certainly not you.
Right? Why don't you, put yourself out there, right?
I am putting myself out there. I'm making video after video every goddamn day trying to help men. How exactly is it helping anybody? So I show my face. I don't show my face. The message remains the same. Typical solipsistic nonsense argument. Another argument where you were trying to claim moral superiority and at the same time you were trying to delegitimize my views by saying, look at me, I'm superior because I'm showing my face and my arguments are therefore the right ones. You're inferior, you're not showing your face, so obviously your arguments are spurious and just plain wrong.
To me, be vulnerable.
Yeah, virtue signal, honey, that's right.
We're being vulnerable. People are sending.
Wait. What do you mean be vulnerable? Oh, so dox myself and put myself out there to. What do you mean put yourself out there? Now this sounds like the kind of thing you would say is relationship advice. Yes, yeah. Everything with her is wrapped up with the relations between men and women. Oh yeah, make yourself be vulnerable. Yes, be vulnerable. This is not like relations between men and women, honey. This is not, well, I mean, in some cases, yeah, because women are more violent than men, as we all know. But this is not the same, honey. You dox yourself, and you have the views I have. You essentially leave yourself open to actual physical harm from wackos from your side of the aisle. Meanwhile, your opinions will get you attacked by no one.
And us, like, death threats and saying they want to do all weird sexual stuff to us just for having an opinion.
Who? Show me your death threats. Show me the people who have given you death threats, honey. Show them to me. I would bet it's a number of 0. These leftists always like to virtue signal and say they've gotten death threats. You've gotten 0 death threats, honey. Nobody has threatened your life. Give me a break. You're not that important.
Right.
Your channel has 700 subscribers, okay? I mean, who's giving you death threats, huh? Who?
But you need to put yourself out there.
Why? Give me an argument. Give me an argument that says that showing my face makes my arguments more legitimate. Give me the argument. Why? Give me a why. Give me some kind of why. In this video, please present me with a why of some sort. Don't just give me critical theory. Give me arguments to support your critical theory nonsense. Of course, if you had arguments, yeah, right, it wouldn't be critical theory nonsense. Of course, you would show your nonsense, and then I would be able to tear your arguments to pieces, which I'm already doing anyway.
This is another thing. Women, you need to realize this too. If you're having issues with women, women aren't attracted to cowards.
I'm not having issues with women. I don't know what you're talking about. I pump and dump a variety of broads. I could pick up my phone right now. Can I come over? Let's bang. I bang, I come home. What issues have I got? Oh, you mean that I don't want to marry some bitch and let her have half my shit and pay her vagina-mony forever and have a kid with her and pay her alimony? Well, if you consider that having issues with women, then, well, yeah, I guess I do.
So, to me, I see that as a real cowardly thing. We're not attracted to that.
Well, I don't care. By the way, honey, I don't know, what are you talking about? How am I a coward exactly? Well, I love this. So, me not showing my face on videos makes me a coward. And these women I pump and dump know I'm a coward because they know I have this YouTube channel, even though I don't show my face. So they really don't know who I am and that I post these videos. But if I show my face, they just might. Okay, honey. I see. Your arguments make no sense whatsoever. One has nothing to do with the other. You're not even comparing apples and oranges. You're comparing apples and cars or apples and baseball parks. I mean, you're not even in the same ballpark.
We're just not. And most people are.
Yeah, but you are so courageous, aren't you? You're in a room full of pacifists giving your views. Ooh, the courage you have.
Not even, it's not business partners, not people that are
Come on, honey, come on. You get it out. You'll get it out eventually. Come on, get the little hamster spinning in his wheel. Come on.
That are successful. And to me, it just feeds into this whole social justice.
Amazingly, I am successful. Yeah, geez, I'm a coward, but I'm successful. But going by your argument, I shouldn't be successful. Yeah, interesting.
Warrior victim mentality.
Social justice warrior victim mentality because I don't want to show my face. What? When did I say I was a victim? Yeah, false equivalency argument. False equivalency argument. By the way, she doesn't even seem to know what a social justice warrior is, even though that's what she is. So, honey, social justice warrior is somebody who seeks to enact social justice, to right perceived wrongs they perceive that go against the politically correct orthodoxy, okay? How exactly is hiding my face, not revealing my face so people can't find out my identity, whack jobs who have very well demonstrated that they can and will go out of their way to try and ruin the career and the life and threaten the potential physical well-being of people who disagree with that orthodoxy? How is that being a social justice warrior? Or in any way similar? Her arguments make no sense.
From men and women, where you don't want to take responsibility, you want to play the victim, and you want to blame everything on everybody else.
Who am I blaming exactly? Oh, I'm blaming feminists. Oh, and men. The pussy white knight mangina men who ally themselves with women and become male feminists so they can get close to women because they cannot compete on a level playing field. So they adopt the ideology, this solipsistic ideology, this death cult that is feminism, and the leftist ideology, this cultural Marxist bullshit. They adopt it because that's the only way they can get pussy. That's the only way that they can get any poon whatsoever, is to sidle up to these feminists and pretend to be one of them, act like one of them, adopt their ideology. Or, of course, you have the men who have become pussy white knight manginas because they were raised by single mothers, and they had a mother who was a domineering tyrant bitch and a father who was a pussy. And so they've grown up to actually believe this ideology. So that's the two flavors of male feminists that you have. And those are the majority of men who are out there right now, unfortunately. So I don't just blame feminists, female feminists, women. The majority of women are feminists. The fact that, but I hate feminists. It's not women that I hate. It's feminists. It's not my fault that the majority, 99% of women, are feminists. And I hate the male feminist as well, whatever form he might take, because he, more than anybody else, enables women to gain and maintain ever more power. But who am I going to blame? Me? No. It's not my fault that the global elites want a communist utopia and to push socialism so they can rule over everybody, okay? That's not my fault, all right? It's not my fault that all these things are going on and that feminist women are nothing more than dupes. They're pawns in a much larger power game, and they are willing pawns because they're getting power, they're getting privilege, and because they lack abstract thinking, and because they're so narcissistic, they don't care about anybody else but themselves, and they don't see the future negative outcomes of their actions. I place the blame right where it belongs.
So women are going to blame men and go like, be like, oh, I'm done with men.
Where are they? Oh, that's right. They're called feminists. They're feminists. Women already did that, honey. The suffragettes, and then you're supposed first, second, third waivers, which are all the same goddamn thing, really. Okay? They're all feminists, okay? And you're a feminist, too. And you're clearly an egalitarian feminist, the worst possible kind, because you try to pass yourself off as the no-walt. I'm the good feminist. Oh, I'm not a feminist. I'm an egalitarian, which is the same goddamn thing. But I try to pass myself off as somebody who's more fair and balanced in my view of the sexes, but really, I'm not. Yeah, right, honey. Yeah, we should listen to you. Uh-huh.
I'm going to get a cat. I'm going to get a sex robot.
Right, well, you're definitely going to get a cat, honey, because there ain't no man going to marry you, because as you said yourself, you will nag him.
And then men are going to be like, I'm done with women.
First of all, honey, women will not be done with men. They need us for our resources. Even if they say they're done with men, they have their little sex toys, just like a robot. A sex doll, it's not a robot. It's nothing more than a toy. And women don't get rid of men because they live off the system. Women, by the time they die, the average woman has a negative balance of $150,000. That's how much more she's taken out of the system than she's put in. Who contributes to that system? Women effectively pay no tax. In fact, they have a negative balance. Men, when they die, are zero debt, zero in, zero out. They're even Steven when they go. The only people who are sucking money out of the system that is 100% funded by men is women. So even if you say you will never need men, you need us.
I'm going to get a sex robot, whatever.
Doll.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. She likes to say that, doesn't she? It's ridiculous. That's her little pause. She does that. It's ridiculous as she goes to her notes to give herself a little leeway time in between when she looks at her notes to start speaking again.
So, say that I'm shaming. I don't care.
You are shaming. You are attempting to shame. You don't care. Why don't you just admit that's what you're doing? Don't tell us, say that I'm shaming. No. Why don't you have some balls? Where's your courage to admit what you're doing?
I really don't. This is what I think.
Yeah, she's such a catch. Oh, I would really love to come home to this.
Let me see.
Oh, boy. Okay, she's taking her time with these notes. Oh, boy.
I think that's it. I mean, I had a lot of notes, but I want to see that Twilight Zone episode, though. I really like that episode.
What the hell is she talking about? Now she's waxing on about a fucking Twilight Zone episode? This is women, guys. They're total airheads. She was able to stay like slightly on track, meaning she was all over the fucking place. But that's about the best a woman can manage. And she was able to be all over the fucking place for about 8.5 minutes. And now she's went totally off the rails, either talking about some anonymous fucking Twilight Zone episode. I don't know what the hell she's talking about.
You know, I like Bill Burr too. I think, you know.
What is this? What is it? What is she trying to do here? I mean, what the hell is she talking about? MGTOW? Sex dolls? Then she just randomly jumps into talking about some Twilight Zone episode, and then she randomly, the next thing she brings up without any lead-in is Bill Burr. Oh, sex doll, Twilight Zone, Bill Burr. Yeah, there's some connections there. What the hell are you talking about? What are you, schizophrenic or something, honey? Good Lord, I don't know how much more of this I can take. All right, let's just muscle through and get to the end.
I hope, this is my hope.
Okay, so she just mentioned the Bill Burr thing to kind of like make it seem like she somehow identifies with us. Yeah, I'm just like you. Don't post negative comments on my page. Don't do it. Don't do it. I spent this whole video attacking you and making spurious accusations against you and shaming you. But please don't come to my channel and leave nasty comments in my comment section. I identify with you guys, you know. I like Bill Burr too.
I hope that there are MGTOW men, and there's some that have been really cool. I hope if you're really getting something out of this and you're finding male bonding, which I think that there is a need for that, and I think that
here we are. There we go. She tries to minimize the damage that she's done in the prior 9 minutes. So you spent 9 minutes trashing us and trashing the things that we feel and believe and just shaming us and going after us with barrels loaded, just and now at the very end, you're essentially trying to act like you identify with us and you understand and you empathize and you yeah, right, honey. You empathize with us so much. Yeah, she's trying to add credibility to herself and her prior arguments. Oh, the leftism here. Oh, it's so strong.
There needs to be some kind of movement against the court system, and I totally support that.
Wait. You just spent this whole video essentially trashing us for wanting to have alternatives to women and saying that we must get with women, we should not be going with sex dolls, we can't have this rift between men and women, and now you're essentially contradicting yourself. Oh, well, of course you are. You're a leftist. You're a cultural Marxist feminist. Of course you're contradicting yourself. That's what feminism's all about.
Because I think it is unjust when it comes to men.
Oh, but we should still continue to get with women, even though we get divorce raped. Okay, continue.
But that's the court system. You know, did women make those laws?
Yes. Oh, are you? Oh, oh, God. You really don't get it, do you, honey? Okay, let's get to, I know where this is going. Let's get to where it's going, and then I will make my counter-argument to her non-arguments.
Who made the laws? You need to start thinking about, like, on a bigger level. If you really want to change things.
Oh, boy, you think on a big level? No, you don't, honey. Let me tell you who made those laws. Women made those laws, okay? The women's made those laws, okay? They made it through the power of their vote, okay? Women were given the vote, and given that vote specifically so that they could push a collectivist socialist agenda. And the feminism that they were taught through the education system, all right, that they were indoctrinated into via the media, and now in universities through these crappy gender studies courses, which have nothing to do about gender studies. They're all women's studies classes. They're all feminism being taught on campuses. This evil, cultural Marxist ideology that Lenin loved so much is the problem. And it's being taught to women and male feminists, and feminism is the problem. Feminists are the problem. The majority of feminists are women, and they have the vote. And let me explain something to you so you understand this, honey. It's not the politicians who have the power. It's the people who vote for them. There aren't a lot of politicians that don't have term limits. You know, governors and the president of the United States. More or less every other elected official has no term limits. We got senators that have been serving 40, 50 years. I mean, we got some senators who are so old, they're senile, they're half dead, they look like the crypt keeper. They can't do their job at all. But they get reelected again and again and again. So, and why do they get reelected? Because they push the agendas that the people who are the majority of voters push. It's the people who have the majority of the vote who are the ones in charge, not the politicians. You say, oh, well, the majority of politicians are men, so it's men who are in charge. You ever heard of the power behind the throne? They're nothing more than puppets of those who vote them into power because they're losers who can't get real jobs, so they go into politics. Do you understand that? The majority of politicians are nothing more than political whores. They're prostitutes who sell themselves to the highest bidder, in this case, the global elites, and they essentially who push the same agendas that the feminists love so much. You just don't understand. You just don't understand. The ideologies that you were spouting, that you were advocating, are pushed, have been created, in fact, by the global elites to push their agendas. And they're the things that you want, and you are the voter. And then you vote for, you voice yourself, you protest your million-woman marches, and we're all women are going to take a day off work and see how horrible it is. Yeah, real horrible. You are the ones who have the power because you have the vote. You are 53% of the American population, okay? You far outnumber men. That's a lot in a country of 30 million people, and women vote more than men, and there's more women than men, and women, the majority of women vote to the left, not the right, the left, towards collectivist policies, collectivist ideologies, socialist ideologies. Women are natural socialists. So you really don't understand, do you? You talk about looking at the bigger picture, but you don't understand the bigger picture. It's not the male politicians that are in charge, it's the women who elect them. And if those women don't vote for them, they will not get reelected, obviously. And those women won't vote for them if those men don't push those women's agenda. And women, being the collectivists they are, they tend to all vote the same way on the same issues. Do you get it yet, honey? Oh, no, of course you don't get it.
Who made the laws?
Women.
Look who is controlling the education system.
Women. Something like 85% of teachers, 86, 87% of teachers are like women. The vast majority of teachers are women. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? You didn't know that. Even though, guess what? She's a teacher, and she doesn't know that the majority of teachers are women.
Who are putting these ideologies into our education system?
The global elites, the Frankfurt School back in 1934 came to America, set up at Columbia University, started spreading social science, which is really just socialism. And they created a little think tank, and they created all these little satellite schools, and now it's at every single university in America. And of course the intellectuals at that time loved communism. Great idea. Yeah, and the global elites love communism as well, and they love the idea of one world government. And how best to do that? By deconstructing the West. Yeah, you don't really know anything about the bigger picture, do you, honey? But we need to think about the bigger picture.
Into our university, right? You look at people that have their hand in their finances and their investment in education, in the court system, right? It's a bigger issue than just women doing it to men and men doing it to women.
No, it's not. Not in that sense. On the ground level, it's women wanting as much as they can get. And because they're narcissistic, because they're self-involved, they will vote for things that benefit them. Men see the bigger picture, women do not. Now, the bigger picture is that men and women are just pawns, as well as the brown man and the black man, when anybody else that's labeled an oppressed minority of the bigger picture, to deconstruct Western civilization and bring about a global government and one world currency, one world government. And yes, there is a depopulation agenda in place. And all of that is served by the pawns that are feminists, male and female feminists, but mostly females.
I think personally that a vicious cycle has been created by the elites, by the higher ups, to get us fighting against each other.
Duh, and did you stop to think why? Did you stop to think why? Oh, let's not blame the women. It's the higher ups' fault. It's not women's fault, even though women's are the soldiers in the enemy's army. But don't fight the women's. Fight the global elites who are the big generals, and they're way, way far away, far, far away on top of a high, high mountain nobody can reach, guarded by 1 billion women's, and they're guarded by 1 billion of the enemy soldier. And we can't get past the enemy soldier to attack them, but we shouldn't attack the enemy soldiers either. So how do we defeat the enemy generals, the global elites, if we don't fight their soldiers? Yeah, that's a conundrum.
To cause a rift between each other so we don't procreate, and so...
Oh, so essentially what you're saying is we should continue to get with women and continue... You don't get it though, do you? Feminism has made relationships impossible. If a man marries a woman in this modern society, feminism has so corrupted her mind that the marriage will not last and the couple will split up anyway. Are you aware that 93.6% of all first marriages end in divorce in the West? Please do some research. If you want to see that I'm right, do a search of average length of marriage in the Western world. America, 8.7 years, which proves my point. Less than 10 years. The average marriage lasts less than 10 years in America. You don't get it. It still keeps us apart. The only difference is if we marry the woman, we will lose half our shit and it will double our debt by making it so that we have 2 households that we need to support as a man instead of 1. Before, she lived under our roof. The kids lived under our roof. I only had to support 1 roof. Now she divorces me. She gets alimony. She gets child support. And by the way, the child support is usually way more money than the kid needs to survive. And then I'm not living with her. I have my own place. Then I'm paying for her place. I'm paying more money for that kid than I would have before. And I'm giving her alimony on top of that. Well, now I've just doubled my amount of debt, tripled the amount of debt I'm in, quadrupled the amount of debt I'm in. I'm working more, I'm paying more taxes, and I'm now in greater debt, which feeds the debt machine, which is really what the global elites want, ever and ever increasing levels of debt. You just don't get it, do you? Even if we do what you say they don't want, it will still result in what they do want, but more so.
So we're fighting. It's another element of divide and conquer. And I think the same thing is being...
She thinks she sounds clever using divide and conquer. She don't know what the hell she's talking about.
...done with race, right? As a teacher...
This woman's a teacher. Oh, my God. This is why kids are so stupid these days, because of people like her. She has no ability to think critically or logically or reasonably.
I look at the education system and some of the stuff that I even had to teach some of my kids. One of the reasons I moved out of the traditional education system.
Oh, God, where does she teach? Good Lord. I have to wonder. She seems to be saying she works for a private school. I can't imagine any private school hiring this broad. Usually they have higher standards than this. Oh.
You know, we're always taught about, like, white people are like the worst human being on earth, and then they cause all the slavery and all this stuff. They're not taught. I didn't know.
Oh, she's in the wild. I'm in the wild because I don't buy into all of the nonsense on the left about white privilege and all that. Nah, you're just an egalitarian feminist.
About like black people enslaving other people, enslaving their own, having slaves until I was older, right? And I didn't know about, you know, other races causing other genocides,
Right, I grew up ignorant, but now I'm not ignorant, even though I really am ignorant, because I've been talking now for almost 11 minutes about shit that I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
You know, other types of slavery. I didn't even know about slavery going on today, still to this day, until I got older. But
You got older. She's in her early 20s from what I can see. You're not that old, honey. You don't have very many years of knowing much of anything, and you obviously don't know much of anything.
I think that there is, you know, in our media, in our society, in our education system, you know, that's another way of causing a rift. When you are...
You mean identity politics? Could you talk coherently? I mean, you've just been babbling for the last 2 minutes. White people, slavery, how did you find us? God, she's a teacher. She can't even speak coherently. Oh, my God.
Are pitting the opposite sex against each other, when you're pitting other races against each other by omitting information.
And could you tell us why the global elites want to divide and conquer us? Could you tell us why? Could you tell us the reasons? No? Okay.
Leaving them disempowered and you know, letting it be okay to blame the opposite sex for some.
It is okay, dummy. You know why it's okay? Because women are willing participants, all right? They don't do anything for men. In fact, they do everything they can to go after men, to destroy men, to disempower, disenfranchise them, and essentially make them into second-class citizens. And they do it with revelry. They revel in their power, okay? They revel in their power over men. They're not some victims, right? See, now who's playing the victim here, huh? Now who's playing the victim? Who's really the real victim here in your mind? Women. We shouldn't blame women. As men, we shouldn't blame women. Let's blame the global elites, even though women's are willing collaborators, and they are the soldiers of the left. And they've willingly become weaponized. They have willingly chose to become weapons of the left, used against white men, specifically white men, all men really, but specifically the white man, to destroy Western society so that a new, more fair and just society can be created, a world without borders. Yeah, and they're willing participants, they're willing collaborators, but it's not their fault.
Something instead of taking responsibility, they're easier to...
Well, the only person not taking responsibility is you as a woman and every other woman out there who adopts this feminist ideology and doesn't fight back against it and doesn't defend men, doesn't stand up for men, and doesn't fight for men's rights in any real meaningful way.
To be controlled. So, like it or not, you're being controlled. So...
No. You think we are. I've heard this argument before. I've heard this claptrap bullshit argument before. Well, you're just doing what the left wants you to do by going away from women. I really don't give a fuck. And nobody's controlling me. I'm not going to be in a relationship, and this little child, okay? I'm an old guy by now. I've lived with women for more years than she's been aware that slavery still goes on. So, trust me. I know what the hell I'm talking about. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. I know what I need and don't need. And I don't need some broad who's been indoctrinated into this egalitarian bullshit, yammering and nagging in my ear all fucking day and night, okay? I don't need that. I don't want somebody who will not fulfill their natural gender role, but I'm supposed to stick to mine, hell or high water. That's what I don't want. And if you say that's me being controlled, I don't give a fuck.
Get mad at me if you want to. If you need to, be mad. If you come on my page and you leave like vulgar stuff, I'm gonna block you. I'll block your grandchildren. I don't care.
Right, I'm gonna block you. I'm so open-minded. I'm not gonna block you. Yeah, right. Oh, but you're not a social justice warrior. Oh, you're so tolerant. Yeah. You're so tolerant of the views of others, but you'll block them if you don't agree with them. Very interesting. It's also very interesting that you say, well, if you're going your own way, you're doing what the global elites want you to do. No, I'm not. No. Let me tell you something, okay, honey? Let me explain something to you, okay? This is the eventual outcome anyway. You don't get it, do you? All right? No. That's not what they want. They want me to get married and then divorced. And then they want me to get married again and divorced. They don't, see, she doesn't get it. They don't want men and women apart in the way you're saying. They want us to get together so that we'll break up because feminism has made virtually all relationships 100% untenable. The whole deal with this liberation of women bullshit was to create more taxpayers, okay, honey? All right? And in doing that, in this liberating of women and turning them into inferior versions of men, essentially what the left has done is made marriage completely untenable. Yeah, people are still getting married, and they get divorced within 10 years. And that's what the global elite wants. That's what they want. You are the one doing what the global elites want, not me, because I've never been married. And they want you to get married so you can get divorced, which is the unavoidable outcome in 93.6% of all first marriages. And go ahead, get married again like a big dummy and think that it's your fault and not the fault of modern day society and the fault of modern women. Yeah, keep getting remarried like a dummy and getting divorced and getting your assets split yet again and again and again and have to pay alimony again and child support again. Sure, let's just follow your script.
But be mad. Think about what I said. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am.
I think you are. And I don't think you've thought about anything that you said.
But maybe I am. Okay?
Yeah, you're cocky, honey. You're cocky and you have no reason to be cocky. You've sat here now for 11 and a half minutes spouting off gibberish, essentially stating things you believe to be true without giving any supporting arguments, blathering on and on. The global elites want you to not be together ever, not even once, because, I haven't really thought this out.
Maybe I am. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I know, and I have wrecked you completely in this reply to your video. So yeah, you're wrong, and I have proven you to be so.
But this is what I think.
You don't think. That's the problem, honey.
And like I said before, if you're strong in your conviction, then
you won't come to my channel and disagree with me, or make a response video where you disagree with me, and you won't come to my channel and leave a comment. No, how dare you? Don't you even think about coming to my channel and disagreeing with me. Of course I can disagree with you.
Who cares what I think? Right? If you're right, who cares what I think? Why are you going to...
Nobody cares. You see, you don't get it, honey. I don't care what you think. I really don't care what I think. What I do care about is men. I care about my fellow men, and I want to show them what the modern-day woman is really like, what feminism and your solipsistic nonsense and the left and what this collectivist society that essentially American society has become is creating. It's creating women like you, and the majority of women are like you. Not nearly as smart as they think they are, not even close. Okay, honey? And you're just spouting nonsense with no arguments. I want them to see what you're like, so they will run the other way.
Try and convince me. Like, I'm not in a space to be convinced because I'm strong in my conviction.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. And of course, nothing you say will in no any way convince me. I'm right. I'm 100% right. I'm so freaking smart. I have 180 IQ, for God's sake. I must be a brilliant genius. And of course, I'm a brilliant genius. I know I am a brilliant genius. And I don't care what your opinions are because I know I'm right. Not cocky at all. Not overconfident at all, are you, honey? Nah. Yeah, you don't even bother coming to my page or replying to my video and trying to convince me otherwise, because I know I'm right. You're right. So open-minded and tolerant, sweetheart, even though you had zero arguments.
Right, I'm on my page making my own videos about what I think, and
yep,
I'm not coming over your page. So all the people that are coming over here trying to convince us or trying to death threat us.
Who are you talking about? And by the way, I looked at all these comments. I saw no death threats. So she's lying. And who's us? Oh, right. Well, right. Of course, it's all women. That's all because women are natural collectivists, and she just made my point for me. You are the problem, honey. You and your little collective of us are the problem. You're too easily led by the nose and your own emotions. You are willing pawns. Of course, don't come to my channel. I didn't come to your channel. No, you just spent 12, almost 13 minutes shaming, attacking, insulting, making character attacks, ad hominems, critical theory attacks for 13 minutes against men. And specifically MGTOW men, but we're not allowed to come to your channel. It's your channel. You have sovereignty here. Don't you dare come to my channel. I didn't come to your channel. I just made a video that anybody on YouTube is allowed to watch, but you're not allowed to watch my video, man, and comment. And if you do watch it, you're not allowed to comment because I come to your channel and watch your video. I put this video on my channel. I didn't put it on my channel for you to watch. I just put it here. I don't know why I put it here. I didn't want anybody to watch it. I just put it here. It's just for the women's to watch. Don't you men watch it. No. And if you do watch it, don't you dare disagree with me. No. And by the way, honey, isn't it interesting that you mentioned at the beginning of this video that you had watched some MGTOW videos and you had looked at some of their content. You heard about it and you did a little research and you watched some MGTOW videos. Isn't it interesting that you're allowed to go to these men's MGTOW channels and then go to your channel and comment on their material, the things they've said, the things they believe, right? But that's okay. Oh, because you did it on your channel. Right. You didn't invade their channel. This is some kind of sovereign space where you have control and nobody is allowed to challenge you. Oh, but wait a second. I thought you wanted to be challenged. I thought you wanted to be challenged by men. You talked about how, oh, you cowardly men. You don't want to be challenged by a woman, and yet you hypocrite, you are sitting here talking about how
Don't you come to my channel and challenge me. I don't want to be challenged by you, man.
The solipsism of this one, the total lack of self-awareness, telling us that we're somehow cowardly and we don't want to be challenged. Meanwhile, she's telling us, don't you dare come here and challenge me. Unbelievable. What the hell? Well, honey, I'm going to give you what you want. I'm not going to come to your channel and challenge you there. I'm going to do exactly what you did. I'm going to challenge you by making this video and replying to every little bit of nonsense you said and ripping apart all your cowardly representations because you gave no arguments because you're such a coward. You essentially didn't want anybody to be able to attack you, anybody to be able to tear your arguments to shreds, because you knew you have no arguments. You have no arguments. You just have critical theory. That's all you have.
Trying to like say stuff like, remember, you came over here. I didn't come over there. So
yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You did come over there. Anyway, you came over there to CCC. You took a little peek. You took a little listen. You peeked through the door. You listened for a while at the doorway. You eavesdropped. You got a little tiny little bit of an idea what was going on. And then now you're acting as if you know everything. And you made this reply video. Well, I'm now going to reply to your reply video.
That's all I have to say. There's some men that...
Oh, God, we can only hope that's all you have to say. But unfortunately, she has a bunch of other videos, so clearly that's not all she has to say, unfortunately.
I hope that... And I know I've been snarky most of this video.
Oh, I love it. So she spends this entire video attacking men and essentially trying to shame and ridicule us. Well, she is shaming us, in fact. She spent the whole video shaming us, spent the whole video ridiculing us, and now at the very end... she tries to apologize for it, so we'll take it easy on her and be nice to her. Yeah.
But right now, I really...
Right, trying to rationalize being... Oh, hell, you know what she's being and what she's been.
I'm being sincere. I hope that you do find healing.
Oh, here comes the moral superiority. So I love it. Even as she's trying to essentially minimize the viewpoint that we have of her being, well, you know the word. She spends all this time ridiculing us, attacking us, and even as she tries to somehow make some kind of lame-ass false apology at the very end here for being so nasty, she can't help but throw out some moral superiority. I hope you heal. I'm a perfect woman. There's nothing wrong with me but you demented, twisted sickos that want to have sex with dolls. Meanwhile, I have a drawer full of dildos. I hope you all find healing because me, well, I'm the healer, and if you got with me, you would heal. And I'm such a loving, caring, nurturing being, the perfect woman that I am. I'm a Mary Sue, don't you know? I'm just like Rey in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. I'm perfect. Ooh, you'd be lucky to be with me, and I could heal you, and I'm already a perfect woman, and I have no damage to me that needs to be healed. But of course, if I say you need healing, you're damaged goods, and all you scumbag sicko losers out there that have sex with dolls are damaged goods, and I hope you heal. I hope you heal.
Because I hope you find healing and happiness with another human being.
I love it. Ooh, yeah, there's that final little, what she thinks, nail and coffin. I hope you find happiness with another human being. She's got this little self-satisfied grin on her face, like she's got that last shot in. Yeah, I really hit him with that one. Ooh, yeah, I'm so clever. Honey, yeah, that you believe that you need another human being to be happy says a whole lot more about you than it does about us.
Because at the end of the day, I think that's what we're here for.
We're here to be happy, but it seems you and I and most MGTOW men have a way different viewpoint in regards to what makes people happy. You think there's a universality, one thing that universally will make all people happy, while I am a little more introspective and critical and logical and intelligent to realize that it varies from person to person. I'm not a collectivist like you. I'm not a Borg.
To connect with each other as human beings.
Right, and I have to get with a woman and stick my cock inside a real one instead of a silicone one to have connection with other people. I can't possibly have connection with other men and other people, even if they are women, but not in a sexual way. There can't be any other connections outside the ones between a man and a woman puffing each other.
So, yeah. All right, guys. Peace and love. Bye.
Yes, that's it from her. And by the way, I would like to add, she claims to be a school teacher, and I would just like to add this. Honey, if you're a school teacher, you can't be a very good one, because the best teachers are generally the best students. The best teachers know that to be a good teacher first, you must be a good student. And yet, you are continually saying, I'm strong about convictions, and nobody's going to teach me anything. Yeah, I learned a little bit of thimbleful about MGTOW and all this stuff, but I know everything, and I know that I'm right, even though I don't know very much, so I'm not very well informed, but nobody's going to tell me that I'm wrong or teach me anything. Yeah, you're a real good student, honey. You're a wonderful student. You're such a wonderful teacher. You must be a wonderful teacher if you're such a wonderful student that nobody can tell you anything, even though you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And you even admit at the beginning know very little. Oh, but I've learned so much. I've learned so much in my very little bit of research. Oh. Yeah, some great teacher she must be, being such a lousy student. Anyhow, that's all I had to say on this broad, and I can't take any more. Please let me know what you think in the comment section of this video, and please like and subscribe to my channel, and donate to my Patreon, because unlike this broad, I actually put thought and work into the things I say and represent as fact or truth. Unlike her, who just spits solipsistic nonsense with no arguments. You'll find the link to my Patreon both in the last 20 seconds of this video and in the description. I am the MGTOW philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.